Okay, so in this chapter, we are going to be working on making assemblies, which is we're going to take a bunch of little parts and put them together. We're also going to look at how to make holes using Hole Wizard, which actually make more complex drawings a little bit easier. And we'll talk about assembly constraints and mates and all that. So the first thing that we are going to do is we're going to have to make some parts. So we are going to start with a new part, and we're going to make ourselves a hinge. We're going to ignore everything there because that's all from the whole streaming it in. And I'm going to make a part. And so I am going to make a little hingey thing. And I don't think hingey, I'm not sure if that's a word. But so we are going to extrude. I'm going to have a straight line here that I'm going to ground. And then I am going to make kind of a arc. So let's do, yeah, we'll do a 3-point arc. And so I'm just drawing an arc, and wow, that is really messed up. Not even remotely close to what I wanted. So that's fine. We're going to fix that. Let's go and put, let's see if I can do this without having to redraw it. So I'm going to pick that circle, hit Control and pick that line. I'm going to tell them to be tangent. And yeah, it really didn't work out the way I wanted it. So let's delete that. There we go. That's kind of what I was shooting for anyway. So we'll do the same thing. As I'm going to go in there and we're going to make those tangent. Let's give this line a length, and we'll put that down to 2 inches. And then I will need a radius here, and that radius will be 0.5. Okay, it's still not there because this point can float. You can see it's blue, so if I grab it, and if I wasn't in the dimension tool, there we go, I can grab it and that's going to go around. So we'll just say that I want those 2 points to be on the same horizontal line. There, everything's now grounded, and we have our little hinge thing, and that looks, I hope that looks right. Okay, so typically what we end up doing is we sit there and we sit there, and I'm sorry, the reason that I'm looking at it kind of funny is I see that little minus sign, which means that something is unconstrained in the sketch, and I'm not sure what it could be. Usually things will show up blue. I can't. So for the life of me, I don't know what's unconstrained. Selected item is fixed. Seems to be telling me everything's fully defined, so I don't know why it says that it's not. Yeah, for this case, I'm just not going to worry about it. Normally, I try to run down and actually try to figure out where it was unconstrained, but oh, maybe we'll get lucky, it'll blow up and we can figure it out. So normally you would sit here and make a closed off section, but I'm dealing with something pretty thin, so we're going to use a cool little thing which is called a thin feature. Thin feature direction. So thin feature, it automatically clicks it because it's an open line, and we're going to say that we want it to go in one direction. I would make a joke about a band, but I don't know how relevant that would be. We're going to say we want it to be 1/4 of an inch thick, and see how it's going up from the bottom to make it 1/4 of an inch, and that'll give us our thickness. And now we want to do our normal extrude, and we'll do that from the mid plane, so it will go out in both directions, and we want that to go out both directions as 4 inches. And there we go. So if we scroll out there, there's our little hinge. Hit OK. And see, it built thickness into it, even though we just used a regular line. Okay, and so from now here, what I want to do is I actually want to cut out part of my hinge. So let's do that by going extrude cut, and we're going to sketch on this face here. And then we are going to look right down on that face. And so then what I want to do is I'm going to draw a rectangle. I'm going to highlight here to make it coincidence with that back edge. And so now it's coincident with that edge, coincident with that edge, and let's see, we're going to make it an inch high. Okay, and then what I want to do is, let's get out of the dimension tool. I want to take that guy there and try to click right on that edge. That edge, holding control, hitting my line, and I want to say that those guys are, can I make them collinear? I guess I can. So collinear makes them kind of part of the same line. So it's like coincident except for lines. And so now I've got that there. And so I'm going to cut. Now the thing is, if I cut just up, I'll have the stuff on the bottom there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to extrude cut. And instead of saying blind, I'm going to go through all. And then I can do another direction, or I can go to through all both. And is that gonna, oh, it's up to next. There we go, through all both. And so what that's going to do is that's just going to blast through and remove all that material from both sides. So if I hit that, and there we go. So now we've cut out this section here. And then I want to cut it out again. I can draw that little square, and I can do the cutout again, or we can do a linear pattern and actually pattern that cut. So if you remember, we click up there and we can sit there and go, okay, well, I want to pattern that cut. I want it to go along that direction. It gives me my arrow. It's pointing out to where it's going to be. And let's see, spacing. Where's over here we can go. Let's do that at 2 inches. And oh, select the feature to be patterned. I thought I did select the oh, 2 inches. I want it to be that feature. Let's see, and that gives me the preview. That should be what I want. Bonk. And so now I've clicked that off. So now what we want to do is we want to put a hole in this, not just a hole, we want to actually have a countersink for a flat-headed screw. So I could drop the hole, I could do a circular cut to get that, but we have this neat thing in SolidWorks called Hole Wizard. And if you click on it, you've got all kinds of holes. And what's great about this, it's already set up for all these different kinds of screws that we got. So we're going to pick a countersink. And then we're going to go to an ANSI inch. And we want to use a flathead. Now, we don't want to use the 100 degree. We'll use the 82 degree. And screws are all based on sizes. A 0 is very small. 10 is a pretty beefy screw. And we'll do a normal fit, and then we'll go through all. And so now I have to place where I'm going to put it. So we'll hit check. And I clicked on the face, and now it gives me the preview of what I've got. I'm just going to drop it right there, and we're just going to do one right now. Okay, and so the countersink is there. If you look in here, the sketch is undefined. Well, that's fine, because we're going to go in there and go edit sketch. And see that point, that's all that's there is a point because it knows what it's building off of. But I want to put some dimensions on this. So from this edge to the center, we're going to make that 1 inch. And then from this edge here, trying to grab that, to there. See, it's doing the projection of that for us, which is stay associated to that, 300 thousandths of an inch. Now see, all we did is we moved around the point, But once we rebuild it, because everything is, that hole wizard's all associated with that point, now we've got a hole with the countersink all the way through. It's wonderful, it's great, but it's not enough because we need 4 of these in our assembly to put it together. So what we're going to do is we're going to do another linear pattern. And I am going to pick feature to go, and we'll just grab our hole, countersinked hole. And we're going to send this one in 2 directions. So the first one that we're going to do is, let's see, I believe 2 inches along this direction. Oh, that's in the wrong way, so if I click that arrow, it goes the other way. That's good. Direction 2 will go this way. Ooh. Picked a face. Don't want to pick a face. Want to pick an edge. So we're picking our face. Picking our edge. It looks like it's going the right way. We'll make that a 1/2 inch instead of 2 inches. And something's not right because I only see 1. Oh, because it's 1 instance. We got to make it 2 instances. There we go. 2 instances. 1/2 inch. That doesn't look right. I bet you it's supposed to be an inch. So that's easy enough to correct. 1 inch. Yeah, there we go. That looks about right. Let's enter and take a look at it. That is right up against the edge there. I don't think that's right. Let's move that back a little bit. I don't like that being on the edge. I've never designed something like that. So we'll double click there. And instead of going back in the edit feature, I'm just going right into the dimensions there. Let's make that 0.9. And it pulls it right back. We'll rebuild that. So there we go. That is our first guy. We've got our hinge. Pretty quick to make, so we're going to go File, Save, and I'm just going to call this my hinge. I always want to put a D in there. I know there isn't. So now we have a hinge. So the next thing that we're going to need is we're going to need a door. So let's start a new part. And actually, we're at 12 minutes here, so I'm going to leave the door for the next video.